was exceptional.
I've had to train to get very, very proficient.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing New Zealand.
You're always adjusting and adapting to conditions, and that's the thing that young players perhaps don't quite realise these days.
You're listening to the Hyundai High Performance Hour.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome back into the show, and this is the Hyundai High Performance Hour as we broadcast live from the Garrison at Sylvia Park. We're with you through until kickoff of the State of Origin, the decider, Game 3 from ANZ Stadium in Sydney, and that could be one of the key factors going into tonight's game. It is played in Sydney, and they do say it is such a tough series to win away from home. State of Origin special on the Hyundai High Performance Hour. A little later in this hour, we're going to be talking to Greg Alexander and Benny Ikin, of course, respectively, having played for New South Wales and Queensland. These days, both very much involved in broadcasting, and they're both pretty fine broadcasters too, I have to say. They've made the transition nicely into the commentary booth and the experts chair, both of them working these days with Fox Sports. Well, the State of Origin, a series that began back in 1982, and I don't quite know that perhaps when they played this for the first time, they ever quite believed it might become as big as it has become. Del Woodford is with me. Del, you love your sport. You love the big moments in sport, and State of Origin has the ability to produce those big moments. And here we are in New Zealand. Here we are in a pub in Mount Wellington in Auckland, and we're surrounded by Queensland and New South Wales jerseys, and the place is chocker, ready for this game on the big screen. And it's kind of, hang on, it's an Australian game. What's going on?
What is going on? It's a big moment, you're right, in sport. And Dave was saying at the Garrison, it's a bigger night than when there's an All-Black Test match on. So people love the State of Origin. When it started, did the sport believe it would be this big? Probably not. It's bigger than Test football for rugby league. It embraces the whole nation. Everyone has an opinion on it. The crowds are passionate, and I think that's why we love it so much, is because we're not as passionate about our sport in New Zealand really as the Australians are, where they dress up. They're going to be there in their red and in their blue. We're seeing it in here tonight, and I think people want to be a part of that. So it's a great series, and New Zealanders do love it as much as the Australians. Yeah,
I think one of the keys is in its simplicity, that they've never tried to overcomplicate it. And State of Origin, what do they say? Mate against mate, state against state. It is a brutal confrontation, and they've never tried to overcomplicate it, and often that can be the beauty in sport, and that is a simple premise: two teams with great history, great rivalry, and in a sporting sense, a dislike of each other, if I can put it that way, and from there you get a great end result.
Well, when they put on those jerseys, I think a dislike's a mild term. It's almost a hate when they get out there on the field.
I was being nice. Well, joining us now is a man who's coached in that environment, and it was a huge surprise, not because of his coaching pedigree, because if it was purely down to the coaching pedigree, he'd have been coaching State of Origin forever and a day. But he too is a New Zealander, and I guess that was a huge honour and a huge mark of respect that Graham Lowe was chosen to coach Queensland in State of Origin. And he joins us now to have a look at this Game 3 tonight and talk about State of Origin generally. Graham, thank you very much for your time. Is that a fair comment, that was a huge mark of respect from the Australians to you simply by appointing you to that role?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I'd put it exactly that way, Andrew. It was certainly an honour for me, and to be accepted by them. That's how I looked at it too. In the jewel in their crown, to be invited and accepted in that environment is something I'll treasure for the rest of my life. And it does come as no surprise. I was at the very first game in 1980 at Lang Park. I was actually coaching Norths in Brisbane at the time, and that very first game at Lang Park, when Arthur Beetson led the team onto the field, and you could sense and you could smell history in the making, and it's proven right with what we're going to see tonight. And You know, I'm often asked, Andrew, what's the key to it? And there's a lot of keys to it, but from a Queensland point of view, what a lot of people over here in New Zealand don't realise is that there was so much disrespect shown to Queensland in those early years of State of Origin football that when the games were played in New South Wales, they played them at Leichhardt Oval. They didn't even play them at the football stadium or at Sydney Cricket Ground. They just played them at at Balmain's ground at Leichhardt Oval, and it was just they got very poor crowds along to watch it. The New South Welshmen just didn't turn up, and it really took the spirit of Queensland to turn it into the event it is today.
And in a sporting sense, you look around the world and you look for the major matchups, the major tournaments, the major confrontations in sport that are special, and often it is because they're very simple in their premise. They don't overcomplicate it, and usually there are very close ties to either a club, a region or a country. And the rivalry between the states, I mean, there are many people here in this pub right now that are wearing the colours. In fact, the man who owns this place is right across from me, and Graham Lowe, you'd be very pleased to know that he's wearing Queensland colours. But but the state rivalry is huge, isn't it, Graham?
It is. It's hard to actually describe, how it is. I suppose people who have never seen a game of rugby league before still have an opinion on Origin. That's what it's like. It's something that seems to motivate and generate an intensity. Like I've seen a lot of sports in different parts of the world, and I can't recall, and I don't know of anything at all that matches what we're going to see tonight.
Graham, how do you get the players up? I know the good coaches, you say, they don't need to coach at this level, but you've got to deliver the message that, gets into the players' heart, so they'll go out there and fight for you and fight for their state, fight for themselves. What is that sort of message you have to give to get the best out of these guys?
Well, I think Andrew hit the nail on the head before when he said a couple of times about the simplicity of the whole thing, and that, I think, has been the success that's been the reason of Queensland's success in all these recent years now, because they've had such a simplistic approach to the whole thing. But New South Wales, to their credit, are doing something similar, but the whole thing is it's a simple approach. We've got the best players in the game in Australia on display. There's no coaching involved, really. It's about managing a highly talented group and keeping them happy over a period, not only the week of the preparation, but leading up to it. They get a little bit skittery. There's got to be a calmness shown from the leadership. There's got to be consistency shown from the leadership, and there's got to be a lot of fun involved. And I think that is probably the secret that Queensland have certainly had since 1980, really. And I might sound like I'm down on New South Wales. I'm not, but I do think that their problem has been they haven't known how to react to the underdogs, because Queensland were the underdogs and should be the underdogs, because they just don't have as many players to choose from, and they haven't been able to cope with the underdog getting up and giving them a blood nose.
We're talking to Graham Lowe about State of Origin. Still to come on the show, Greg Alexander and Benny Ikin. Graham, it's a bit of a cliche. You'll hear it about big sporting occasions. Some people talk about having played the game before it actually gets underway. In other words, they use up vital energy. Emotionally, they're spent too early in the week leading up to a big game. How do you manage that process?
Well, again, Andrew, I think you've hit it on the head again. You mentioned the simplicity of the whole thing, and winning or losing the game is really important actually before the whistle gets blown. I personally think for tonight New South Wales have already lost it. If you follow the media in Sydney closely, they've played the game about a dozen times already in the last 10 games. Sometimes in the last 10 days, I mean. Sometimes depending on the journalist writing it, they pull the thing to bits and try and put it back together on an hourly basis. They just overcomplicate the whole thing. Whereas Mel Meninga's approach, really laid back, probably gone a bit troppo up there. A lot of the guys, but It's just a laid-back approach, and they don't allow the players to try and get striked out before the whistle gets blown. And that's, I think that the biggest challenge for New South Wales is coping with the pressure before the game actually starts. And I think history shows that Queensland has been able to do it better.
If you were coaching New South Wales, Graham, what would be your advice? You'd have to take your Maroons jersey off and go in there into that dressing room. What message would you give the players? Because like you said, they've played the game already in their heads 10 times, but you still got to get the best out of them tonight and get them to relax. What would you do differently that they're not doing now?
It's pretty hard to get them to relax because it's such Queensland and New South Wales are both the same. They are really uptight. But I think that the important thing is that every coach is different. For me personally, what I'd be doing is asking for a special effort just for me. And obviously they're doing it for the state, but I'd be trying to make the connection as strong as possible between each player and me as the coach individually. That's what Mel Meninga does. That's what Laurie is trying to do for New South Wales. And certainly if I was in Laurie's position, that's what I would do. But if you're trying to do it tonight, it's too late. You have to have done it leading up to this. You have to have done it over the last month or so.
Graham, is that where the loyalty comes in, where Queensland have a very settled side, and that's been a trademark of their selection over the years, is that they don't change the team? Does that relate to what you've just talked about, the loyalty and the connection to the players?
Absolutely, mate. That's exactly what it is. And again, that gives them that calmness. And quite often people will look at the Queensland team and they'll think, how the heck has he made that side? Because his club football's been very ordinary. But you've got that connection between the coach and the player. The coach knows that he can press the button and the player's going to deliver on the night. And that is the big challenge for Laurie Daly, who's a really talented guy in his own right. But that is the big challenge for him. And I think time is actually against him at the moment because he hasn't had enough time in the job.
Graham, do you think that if we look at the coaches, we look at your own coaching career, you started with the under-18s and progressed through right up to State of Origin and the Kiwis. Do you feel like that maybe Laurie Daly hasn't done that? He hasn't coached an under-18 side. He hasn't had to get the best out of players of average ability. He's just been given the best players, being a great player himself. He doesn't quite know how to do that?
Yeah, I think a little of that could be the case, but I don't know what experience Laurie's had as a coach. I mean, I know the bloke personally and really like him, and I certainly admire him as what he could do as a player. But without that apprenticeship, without that scar tissue of experience, it does make the job all that much harder, and that's certainly what Mel's got at the moment. Mel, prior to State of Origin, Mel wasn't very experienced. He dipped his toe in the coaching arena with Canberra, and it didn't suit him. It wasn't his go, but he's at State of Origin level, it's not really coaching. It's about man management and just knowing which buttons to press at which time, and a personality such as Mel has certainly got that ability, and it's proven year after year up till tonight.
Graham, I know you're at another function and we'll let you go in a moment or two. Just finally, though, can I ask you the emotional aspect of it aside, the motivational aspect? Let's put that aside for a moment. Tactically, tonight, what does each team have to do to win this game?
I think the first few minutes are really important. We'll all get an idea, depending on who kicks off and the ground that's made on the first tackle. Whoever receives the ball, whether it be New South Wales or Queensland, if you see the defending side holding the mark, holding the line, and the receivers of the ball not being able to gain even 1 metre, I think you'll get an indication from those first few moments how the game will go. And traditionally, if you look at State of Origin games, you can normally if you capture those first few minutes, they are absolutely essential and critical to the end result. And that's what both coaches will be talking about. Not much, don't be the one that's going to drop the ball. Don't be the one that's going to make that mistake. And make sure our field position is absolutely probably the most crucial thing in a State of Origin game is field position, because you have to play at the opposition ends of the field.
Good stuff, Graham. Really appreciate your time tonight, and next time we hope we can catch up with you personally. We'll get you down here to the Garrison, and you can enjoy a bite to eat and a drink, and you can perhaps share a tale or two with Dave Hickey, who's in the Queensland jersey across from me here. I'm sure he'll look after you.
I'd enjoy that, Andrew. We'll look at it next year, eh?
Good stuff. Graham Lowe with us on the Hyundai High Performance Hour. Of course, a former coach of Queensland in the State of Origin. And Dave, you've sat there listening to Graham Lowe, legend in Queensland Rugby League, of course. Well, he only had 6 games, didn't he? But that tended to be the way. The coaching tended to rotate reasonably quickly back then. But you've got your true colours on. Nice to be at your place too. Thank you very much. Here at the Garrison, the place is going off.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, we tend to do very well on these nights. It can be bigger than the All Blacks, so it's certainly part of this area, that's sure.
And in terms of the people that are here, we've seen a lot of people that have been here early. They've had dinner. They're here with workmates. They're here with friends generally, and the jerseys are out, so they really get into this.
They do. We're very lucky here. We've got, we're right here at Sylvia Park. We've got the movies. It's a big part of what we do. But also sport. The sport in general. We cater for most here. We've got a big venue, so we can cope with all the big crowds. And as you can see, it's a fun place to be.
Absolutely. And so if there's a big sporting event on, it's on the big screen here, yeah?
Always on the big screen. And we play sound for most of the big events as well. So big supporters of Auckland here as well. So their season's at an end, but we've had a pretty fun year with those guys.
Still a few Warriors games to go though. They're tracking all right at the moment. They had a poor start, but they're going all right.
They are actually. They've come back really well, and given our location, we're just down the road from the home of the Warriors. So we tend to do very well on Sundays when they're playing at home, and the odd other home game. So.
All right, well, we're running a sweep tonight with our listeners, so I better get your score in. How's it going to go? New South Wales by how many?
It ain't going to be New South Wales.
What's your score? Come on.
Queensland 28, New South Wales 14.
14. And I am keeping that for next week. We'll be on here next week and we'll find out how you win. But again, thank you for the hospitality, and we're looking forward to a big night. Dave Hickey with us. He's got the Queensland jersey on, and he runs the Garrison here at Sylvia Park. We're back in a moment. We'll catch up with Greg Alexander and Ben Eichen. I spoke to these boys earlier today about State of Origin 3.
Hi, Paul from AV World. AV World have our best ever projector deal. Why buy a 75-inch TV that's 20 grand and no good on motion? We have an Optima 3D Full HD projector with a 6-speed colour wheel for $19.99. These are made for sport and action movies, and will give you up to a 300-inch picture. Full HD 3D projector with a 3-year warranty for $19.99. Get the movie experience at home at AV World, 237A Dominion Road, Mount Eden, or avworld.co.nz.
Wouldn't it be nice to make the house warm, dry and cosy for winter? Maybe a heat pump, perhaps one of those home ventilation systems, or even just help to handle some debt. Want to get onto things around the home? Talk to Avanti Finance about their tailored financial solution for homeowners called the Freedom Loan. Contact your broker or call Avanti Finance on 0800 003 111.
I want Avanti and I want it right now.
Normal lending criteria apply. Visit avantifinance.co.nz.
Venlerie Blind Services.
Hi, Joe from Venlerie Blind Services. Here at Venlerie Blind Services, we love cleaning blinds. All types, makes and models of blinds. So for the month of July, we're cleaning blinds for free. Book in 5 dirty blinds and we'll clean the 6th one free. Call 0800 999 229.
Venlerie Blind Services. If it doesn't say service, it's not.
Sport in August on Radio Sport. We follow the Warriors in the NRL.
Where's the ball next to the uprights?
US PGA Golf, the Tall Blacks take on the Boomers of Australia.
That's a big-time three-pointer.
The rowing world champs, the Louis Vuitton Cup Final from San Francisco.
Pulsating action like we've never seen before.
And as always, we've got rugby, the ITM Cup and the Rugby Championship. Stay tuned for your sporting fix, August, on Radio Sport. The Hyundai High Performance Hour with Andrew Dewhurst. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
Yeah, my co-host is Del Woodford, and we're broadcasting live from the Garrison. I spoke earlier today to Greg Alexander and Ben Eichen. We'll hear that interview in a moment or two about State of Origin 3. Let's go to the phones, though, on the Hyundai High Performance Hour and have a chat with Kevin. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Pretty good. I was going to put a score in for the Queensland State of Origin.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your score?
I'm a fan of Queensland, so I'm going to go 24-12.
24-12 to Queensland. And whereabouts are you calling from, Kevin?
The West Coast, a town called Hokitika.
Hokitika, I know it well. There we go. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good stuff, mate. You enjoy the game?
Yeah, now while you're there, can you tell me when the next cup is between New Zealand and Luna Rossa?
Oh, the America's Cup? Do you know what? I have no idea. Do you know when we're next sailing, Dell, in the America's Cup?
No, I don't. I thought it was when they sailed the last race. They said 7 day. Oh, I thought it was a week.
Is it quite a while?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure. Sunday.
Sunday, we think. Sunday, Kevin, we're being told.
I'm picking New Zealand to win all.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think they're going to breeze through this Louis Vuitton when it comes to the America's Cup against Oracle. That's when it'll get very interesting. Good on you, Kevin. Appreciate your call. Let's go to Russell. Hi, Russell.
How you going, mate?
Very, very good indeed. You got a score for us with the State of Origin?
Yeah, I was going to say 24-12, but that fella beat me to it, so I'll go 18-12.
Well, no, hang on, because where are you calling from?
Lower Hutt.
Lower Hutt. Well, you can go with that if you want, because our prizes are going to be handed out into the regions. So if you want 24-12, you can have 24-12.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you'd like?
Yeah, that's it.
Good stuff. So Lower Hutt, eh?
Yeah.
Where are you watching the game? Down the Angus, or are you staying at home to watch it tonight?
I'm staying at home to watch it, mate.
Jolly good. You enjoy it, and listen in next week to see if you are a winner. And we'll send you if you are, you'll have a voucher to go to the Bangalore Polo Club in Wellington. They do a great meal and a couple of nice drinks as well. Good on you, Russell. This is the Hyundai High Performance Hour. Let's return in a moment with Ben Eichen and Greg Alexander.
At AMI Insurance, we believe there's more to insurance than policies. It's about listening, talking, and having an actual person to help you out across everything, right when you need it. So if you're with AMI Insurance and you put your car in a ditch in the middle of nowhere, you can rely on Erica from your local branch to help arrange a tow truck. And rest assured, your local AMI contact Evelyn will help get a new stove installed quickly, so no one sees the damage your flaming paella did to the last one. At AMI, we're about people helping people. So if you have a claim, there'll be one dedicated contact to make the process easy, from start to finish. Pop into one of 13 AMI branches across Auckland, or call us for a chat on 0800 100 200.
Hi, Paul from Shawmount. Shawmount still have the best range of brackets and prices available in New Zealand. We simply cannot be beaten on the range and the pricing of LED, projector, plasma or LCD mounts. We've got brackets from 19-inch TVs through to 75-inch TVs in stock. Shawmount is a locally owned company. All advice on mounting your LED, plasma and projector is simply a phone call away. Shawmount.co.nz. Shawmount.co.nz. You can be sure if it's Shawmount.
Jake Bugg is topping charts and selling out gigs around the world. Get the album now from JB Hi-Fi for only $16.99. Jake Bugg at JB Hi-Fi now.
Lonely traveller, stuck in a strange and unknown place without radio sport? Text north or south to 5009 to get a list of frequencies. Radio Sport.
The Hyundai High Performance Hour. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
Well, State of Origin, it doesn't get any bigger than this tonight. It is a decider. It's the marketer's dream. It's 1-1. Of course, New South Wales were too strong in Game 1, but Queensland came back with a roar in Game 2, and they get down to it tonight. The match will kick off just after 10 here tonight. We'll have it live for you on Radio Sport. Joining us now, though, we've got two protagonists, one from each camp. Greg Alexander joins us, of course, formerly of New South Wales fame, amongst other teams. Greg, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here, Andrew.
And we've got your good sparring mate there, Benny Ikin, with us as well, of course. Played for the other colour, didn't he? Queensland. Ben, welcome in.
G'day, Andrew. Hello, Brandy.
Hello, Benny.
This is a marketer's dream, isn't it, guys? Greg, I'll get your thoughts on this first. Put aside the sporting aspect of it. This is great for rugby league, isn't it, from a marketing point of view?
Oh, they don't come much bigger, do they? And I know we've said that a few times over the years, but it's been such a drought for New South Wales. Last 7 series going to Queensland, and the fact that this one's come down to a decider is terrific for Origin. It's terrific for rugby league. I will just add to that it's so big these days, and it is hurting the club competition. And I think fans that don't follow their team and don't talk rugby league daily will, sort of wake up out of this Origin series and realise where their team's sitting. Origin just dominates the club scene over the 7 weeks that it's on.
And Ben, it's a series of such great contrast. I mentioned the 2 results, but that says little about the way they were achieved. Queensland came back with such a dominant performance in Game 2.
Yeah, it was an interesting first 2 games because, New South Wales caught Queensland on their heels inside that first 20, 30 minutes of Game 1 and ran away with it. Queensland kind of tried to fight back near the end, and it played out pretty much exactly the same way in Game 2, except flipped the other way. Queensland started on fire and, had the rub of the green with the refereeing decisions and just established dominance early and maintained it for pretty much the entire match. I reckon New South Wales would be smarting out of Game 2. They would have learned a lesson, a little bit like Queensland did out of Game 1. So coming together for this decider, I think both sides would be somewhere near their best. And despite the fact New South Wales have had a bit of a haphazard preparation, I still expect, particularly in front of a home crowd at ANZ Stadium, that they're going to be very, very hard to beat. So there's not much between these 2 sides, so it's setting itself up for a crackerjack game.
Yeah, Greg, that home advantage that Benny's just mentioned, I mean, if they were to win a Game 3, is that the first box that needed ticking, that they're going to try and do that at home, New South Wales?
I think so. I think going to Suncorp Stadium to try and beat this current Queensland team on their home turf would prove too much for the New South Wales side. There's plenty of inexperience there, and I think, the rub of the green that Ben is speaking about has seemed to have gone with the home team. So hopefully that, Andrew, will continue tonight, because I think New South Wales will need a bit of luck. I think they'll need more than their share of possession, and they'll need the bounce of the ball to go their way and to win some critical moments. Queensland are favourites for a good reason.
You guys have both experienced the atmosphere of international football and State of Origin football. Ben, how important, it's a cliche in sport, I know, but how important is the first 10 minutes? Because it seems that these 2 sides, whoever starts well, you get a real roll on here, and it's almost like emotionally the opposition can't cope.
No, I know. It's funny, I expect both sides to start well. I don't think there'll be much between the 2 teams after 20 minutes. So while the lesson learned out of Game 1 and 2 is that you have to start well, I think because both sides will pretty much be level pegging after that early stanza in this one, it's going to be about how you finish. Now, the concerning thing for me out of Game 2, if I was a New South Wales supporter, that I wouldn't say they capitulated, but they kind of got blown away by Queensland, whereas in Game 1, Queensland still, I think if the game goes another 10, 15 minutes, they probably draw level. And that's what New South Wales have to be conscious of. That, you'll probably get a replica from Queensland of what they produced in Game 2, and I know New South Wales will be conscious they need to start fast. But for them, it's about making sure they're there at the back end of the game, and when they need to rise to that extra level, which Queensland's become so good at doing over this sort of 7-year period of dominance, then they need to get there, and that's where their best players need to stand up. And I know there's a lot of pressure on their halves at the moment, Mitchell Pearce in particular, but when the game needs to be broken open and someone needs to step forward and take control, I think it's the little number 7 for New South Wales. It needs to make his mark for New South Wales in the Origin arena.
Greg, how much does that hurt for you being a former player, hearing that turn of phrase from Benny, the 7-year dominance? And if it hurts you and you're not even playing these days, how much is that hurting this current squad? How much of that is a motivator for them?
Oh, it's a huge motivator. It does hurt. It's getting a little bit boring, actually. It'd be nice just to mix it up a bit and have the Blues get a victory. I guess there's not that many players that have come through the 7 series because the New South Wales team has changed so much over the years because they have been losing. I don't think there's too much baggage coming with the players in terms of what's gone on in the past, but they know how desperate New South Wales are to win a series. It's as we spoke about how enormous Origin has come. Radio, TV, newspapers down here in New South Wales let everyone know just how long it's been and how desperate we are to get a win. So I'm hoping some of that desperation, turns into points because even though we dominated game 1, we still only scored 14 points. That's going to be the issue tonight, I think, getting enough points against this side that's, littered with superstars.
We're talking with Ben Ikin and Greg Alexander as we preview State of Origin 3 tonight. Ben, key players for Queensland, and there are some obvious candidates, but I'd perhaps suggest that the key player from Game 2, and he could have the same influence tonight, was a bloke called Thaiday with the way that he turned it up, especially in that opening 10 minutes that we've talked about.
Yeah, he made a good start, didn't he? And it was a big turnaround for Sam because he kind of hadn't been playing his best football for the Broncos. And a lot of people were wondering why, because he's kind of been elevated into the captaincy role, but he took that sort of so-so form and turned it into something special inside that first 20 minutes in Origin. Look, it's the other bloke in the back row from the same club side, the Brisbane Broncos, that has got me watching in awe. Corey Parker, he's the other side of 30 now, and it's as though he gets better as he gets older. And I think he's been the real thorn in the side of the Blues, even if he's played off the bench, because it's his capacity just to do something in the different, particularly his second phase play, that's kind of unsettled the New South Wales defence. And, I'd go as far to say he's almost the form forward for Queensland at the moment. And then, of course, he just doesn't get the time or space, nor does the back line and the halves, and let the blokes up front do the job. And, Corey Parker is the best on field. Scott wasn't far behind him in State of Origin too. He hadn't been playing all that great for the Cowboys himself, but he turned up and wanted to lay the platform for the Maroons, and he did a great job. Was just about the best forward on the field. So they're probably the two key players out of the pack. And then I'd love to think that the big game players in the key positions, Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, Jonathan Thurston, Billy Slater, those big boys that getting the job done, and there's probably none too better in the business of closing out a game than those four. They've been so good for Queensland for such a long time. And if the pressure's on tonight, then I expect they'll step up to the mark.
And Greg Alexander, same question for you, albeit I'll just perhaps qualify it by saying New South Wales, first and foremost, they've got to get over who they haven't got. But who is key for them tonight?
Well, it's really across the board for New South Wales. As we said, Queensland are favourites for good reason. They've got the experience. They've got a handful of the best players in the competition in their lineup. They've all been through this before. It starts at the back with Josh Dugan returning the football, and you spoke about, Andrew, the players missing, and Jared Hayne is a huge loss for New South Wales. Not there in Game 2. Queensland were that dominant in that game. I don't know if he would have made any further impact or helped them out, but they will miss him. So it's Dugan's kick returns along with the two wingers. The pressure that the halves are under to do just that, build pressure, get back-to-back sets, and try and help New South Wales dominate possession will be crucial tonight. I think Greg Bird, who was under an injury cloud for most of the week, it was a huge boost to get him into the team because he's been one of our best players for the last 5 or 6 years now. He's pretty consistent. I think if we get a share of possession, our forwards can match the Queenslanders with Tamo and Aaron Woods up front. I'm sure Aaron Woods will have a better game than he did at Suncorp Stadium. So if we do that and we match their forwards, it will be up to our halves to really pull apart the game and pull apart the Queensland defence and create opportunities for New South Wales to get enough points to win the game.
Now, I'm not going to ask either of you for a prediction. That'd be more predictable than I don't know what at the moment. But I've got to ask, are there some side bets going on around the Fox Studios, Ben? I mean, is there a little bit extra riding on this?
Listen, me and Brandy, we're both pretty sensible characters, but I work with a bloke on a show called NRL 360, Paul Kent, who's all fire and brimstone. And if there's one reason I want Queensland to win tonight, it's so I can go there and brag to him, because for a bloke that's never played State of Origin, I can't believe how passionate he is about it. He's been making excuses for New South Wales for the last 7 years. So if we can do it again, that's the main reason. I'd love to be able to march into Fox Sports headquarters and do a bit of bragging to Paul Kent.
Good stuff. Hey, thank you very much, guys, for your thoughts. It's going to be a belter, I'm sure, for the neutrals, and there will be a few around the world, certainly not perhaps in Australia so much, but no doubt they'll be hoping for a close game, unlike the first 2 games. Do you get that feeling, guys? Final word, do you get that feeling it will be close, Greg?
Yeah, I think it will. I think ANZ Stadium has a history of producing close games. It has in the past 4 or 5 years anyway, and I don't think tonight will be any different. I agree with Benny and what he said about both sides being ready. We had Queensland off in game 1. New South Wales just couldn't go with.
I think we just lost Greg. I think you might have pulled the plug on his phone, Ben. You'll get the final say. So you see this as being close?
Can I finish off what Greg was going to say? He was going to say he thinks the Maroons will win. And we will. No, look, I know Brandy would be tipping New South Wales more from his heart, and I'm the same. I mean, it's hard when you've got a history with the Blues or the Maroons to tip against your side. So, for me, Queensland will get the job done off the back of the fact they've got the best big game player in the business, and that's Cameron Smith. I've always said about the Queensland number 9 that the better he goes, the less you notice him. It's actually the players around him that go to another level. So, Queensland, but not by much, and I'll put it down to their captain and the number 9, Cameron Smith, being the difference.
Good stuff, Ben. And Greg Alexander, we thank you for your time. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, it was great to catch up with both of those guys, former State of Origin, former Australian internationals, earlier today before Brandy disappeared off the line. And Ben Ikin very kindly suggested that, what Greg was going to say is that the Maroons are going to win by 12. I don't think so. I'm not disagreeing with that statement, but I don't think Greg was the one that was likely to make it, the former New South Welshman. I'm here at the Garrison with Del Woodford. This is the Hyundai High Performance Hour. This place is just getting so busy. It is going to be fantastic. And Del, we just saw, I don't know, what were there, 7 or 8 of them? Queensland supporters. They all had the jerseys. They got the flags even.
Yeah, they come down the stairs, and they a big group of them. So there's a few New South Welshmen around here, but they're a little bit outnumbered.
They are outnumbered, yep.
So if there's any New South Welshmen down there, they better get down to the Garrison at Sylvia Park and show their true colours. Grab a table if they can find one, because, boy, it's getting full.
Yeah, standing room, but there's still plenty of room at the bar to get a drink. So get on down to the Garrison if you're in the vicinity. If not, book a table. Get in here for the next big live sporting event, including Bathurst. That's right, Bathurst. It's an all-day motor race. Well, why not spend most of that day watching it on the big screen here at the Garrison? Listen out for more details of Bathurst at the Garrison over the next month or 2. This is the Hyundai High Performance Hour. Back in a moment. We'll take your calls for the rest of the show, and we want your predictions for the big game tonight. We'll put you in our sweepstake draw with winners from all around the country, because we've got prizes from our bars and restaurants from all around the country. 0800 8255 777. State of Origin, how's it going to play out?
Wouldn't it be nice to make the house warm, dry and cosy for winter? Maybe a heat pump, perhaps one of those home ventilation systems, or even just help to handle some debt. Want to get onto things around the home? Talk to Avanti Finance about their tailored financial solution for homeowners called the Freedom Loan. Contact your broker or call Avanti Finance on 0800 003 111. Normal lending criteria apply. Visit avantifinance.co.nz.
Hi, Mark Ralph here from TimberTech, the cedar restoration experts. I'm at Trigg Road, where our boys are washing a house to get it ready for a brand new coat of oil. And it's bucketing down. We love it, don't we, guys? Yes! Because at TimberTech, we don't let little things like winter get in the way of us keeping your cedar home beautiful. For a free, no-obligation quote, call TimberTech on 0800 298 298.
Hi, Paul from AV World. We have a great home theatre amp deal. We can't tell you the brand, but it's a discreet amp. It's 100 watts every single channel driven. It has Spotify, 4K pass-through and AirPlay, and Zone 2 for another area. This amp sounds good on both movies and music. Usually $16.99, 10 only at $9.99. That's right, $9.99 for a 7.1 AirPlay amp. AV World, 237A Dominion Road, Mount Eden, or avworld.co.nz.
Radio Sport presents the 2013 NRL with TNT Express.
The deadliest warrior.
The warrior battles the tiger, complete with sharp claws and teeth. Underestimate this feline at your peril.
Is deadliest.
Time to find out. Friday night, 9:30. Warriors, Tigers, live from Leichhardt Oval.
It's a duel to the death.
It's live and free on Radio Sport. The Hyundai High Performance Hour with Andrew Dewhurst. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
Yeah, welcome into the show live at the Garrison. Myself and Del Woodford. We've heard from Graham Lowe. We've heard from Greg Alexander and Ben Eichen. Now a chance to hear from you. What do you think for this game tonight? 0800 825577. Kickoff just after 10. We'll be to our ABC commentary team just on 10 o'clock. G'day, Bryce. How you going?
Yeah, not bad, thanks.
What do you think? Which way is it going to go tonight?
I'm a bit of a New South Wales supporter, but I think Queensland 22-10 tonight.
Oh, goodness sakes. That's got to hurt, hasn't it?
It does.
There's no loyalty, just going for the prizes, eh? That's the sort of fans they need.
How long have you been a New South Wales supporter, Bryce?
I used to play in a Blues car, so probably since I was schoolboy, 13.
Say again,
20-odd years.
You used to play in what? In Blues colours?
I used to play for Wakasabi Rugby Club. It's the same colours as New South Wales, so yeah.
Fair enough. I love those sorts of connections. There's a reason for supporting every team. Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
And where are you calling from?
Dunedin.
Dunedin. Jolly good. We haven't yet got a bar on board in Dunedin, but I'm guessing that, you might get to Christchurch every now and then, do you?
Yeah, I go to Christchurch a couple times a week.
Jolly good, jolly good. That sounds like the running ball might be yours if your score is the closest. Good on you, Bryce. Appreciate your call. This is the Hyundai High Performance Hour. We're live at the Garrison. Back in a moment. Still time for your calls.
They're Blue Bubble taxis. The taxis with a blue bubble on the roof. They're New Zealand's largest taxi company. For a blue bubble in Auckland, book online or phone 300 3000. 300 3000.
Hi, Andrew Kerslake from HomeTune. If your company has got a fleet of vehicles, it can be tough keeping on top of the maintenance. But there is an easier way. Call HomeTune. They come to your business and can service all of your vehicles at the same time. You get the job done quickly, efficiently, and with minimum hassle. Now that's convenient. And right now, HomeTune can service your vehicles from just $99 each. Call now.
Phone HomeTune 630-3000.
Looking for a new or used Hyundai? Well, the best place to start is the place where they only sell Hyundai. That's Morocco Hyundai. They're Auckland's exclusive Hyundai dealership. So you can be sure you'll see the biggest range and get the best advice on any Hyundai model you choose. And when it comes to service, well, nobody knows your Hyundai better than these guys. So, for any kind of Hyundai, see my mate Sean at Morocco Hyundai today. And while you're there, tell him Barry sent you.
A heat pump's just an ornament. If it doesn't do its thing, you need someone who understands a brand, and that's the king. With a team of top installers, 5-year warranty in place, and super service all the way. The king you need's the Ace. Martin Simmons, Ace of Heat, your expert heat pump man.
For total Mitsubishi heat pump sales and installation, call Ace Air Conditioning on 3798 301.
Blue Bubble Taxis. Ready when you are with EFTPOS available. The next time you need a taxi in Auckland, phone 300 3000. 300 3000.
The Hyundai High Performance Hour with Andrew Dewhurst. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai New Zealand.
All right, we're not far away from taking you across to Sydney to the ABC commentary team. It's State of Origin 3. Let's get a word from Trevor to finish things off. G'day, Trevor. Have we got you, Trevor?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now, mate. So which way do you see it going?
I see it. It's going to be tight, mate, and it's going to be 13-12 to the Maroons.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're the first one to go with quite a low-scoring game, and that might not be too wide of the mark. So, and with a Queensland win. So a lot of people are saying this is going to be very tight, and not too many tight games are high-scoring games.
No, it's a good call, I think. I know the Australian TAB, their big tip was 12 and under. So, 13-12, it's going to be tight.
Good on you, Trevor. Enjoy the game, mate.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
There we go, the Hyundai High Performance Hour. This is Sport Lately. We've been broadcasting live from the Garrison. We're going to go and settle in and watch the game on the big screen. There's a huge crowd here in attendance. If you are looking for a great venue to watch live sport, then the Garrison is it in Auckland. Check them out at Sylvia Park. It's wonderful food, but they have the big screens. They're turning them up now so that they can hear the commentary. You can probably hear that through our microphones. You have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday night watching or listening to the State of Origin. Del, thanks, mate. States of Origin, then Tour de France. Is that the rest of the evening for you?
That'll be the night covered, Andrew, well and truly, and I'll probably have to sleep at the store tomorrow.
Oh, you won't do that. You won't do that. You'll look after your customers. If Del's nodding off at the store, then just give him a little nudge at Avanti Plus out there at Botany. But enjoy the State of Origin. That's coming up next with our commentary team from the ABC. Our thanks again to Dave Hickey and the team here at the Garrison for their hospitality.